On Fish Tank Type people, bringing it to you on what I like to call Fish Tank Friday, doing a water change on my 80-gallon tank, watching some Shark Week. Gonna stay home tonight because this is the last night of Shark Week, and I usually miss it because I work at night. But doing some maintenance on my 80-gallon planted tank, and I showed a little bit of this on my last video, but I don't think it's sprouted up yet. Here's my Cryptocoryne spiralis, sitting a runner all the way towards the front of the tank. And then we got a few leaves popping up here, man. I really love this plant. Cryptocoryne spiralis has become one of my favorite plants. And I'm not 100% sure on what I'm going to do with this tank here. I know this will definitely be my dedicated low light planted tank. I just have a couple of the T12 bulbs up in here. But when I redo this, I still don't know if I'm going to take out all this sand and put dirt underneath it. I do have some fluorite underneath it, so that kind of helps out a little bit. But when I redo this tank, it's just going to be crypts, the Java fern, the Anubias, and I'm really loving the banana lilies. I have 5 of these things in here, and they send out these lily pads, which look nice. If you don't want the lilies coming up, you can trim them down and they'll stay kind of low. But I've never seen it. I think it would be nice to either have in this tank or my 55-gallon tank banana lilies as the foreground plant. Just have the whole front of the tank banana lilies. I think that would look pretty cool. So I think that's going to be the plan. Rotala indica, it's doing okay. It's growing real slow. I think it would do better under higher light conditions. The dwarf sage, it's not really doing anything in this tank. A lot of it's died back. I have a few pieces in my other tanks, but they seem to be growing slowly, but they're not sending out runners. So I think I'm going to give up on the dwarf sage in this tank at least, and just put it in my tanks with higher lighting. And as you can see, the Java moss here has really started to take off. I think I don't want it growing more than it is. So I'm going to cut it back here real soon because it's starting to encroach upon my Amazon sword and on one of my Java ferns that's on a piece of driftwood back there. But yeah, I thought this stuff was going to die off for sure because it was just gone. There was a few little brown pieces left, and then one day, boom, it just came back with a vengeance. And as far as fish here, I just have my my gold barbs and my cherry barbs. Loving the cherry barbs. I just figured out that one there is a female. The female cherry barbs aren't quite as bright as the males. They're a little more drab in coloration. And the males get this really bright, deep cherry color. And the females obviously get fatter. They get eggs in them. And yeah, so I got the cherry barbs, the gold barbs, the zebra danios, and I got my little dwarf green pike in here. And he can be kind of territorial. I've noticed sometimes my barbs will show up with tattered fins, tattered tails. I think that's just him picking on them when they get too close. But he'll eventually, the dwarf cichlid, yeah, he'll stay in here along with my needle-nosed gar and my hugetta gar and my pictus catfish. That's what I'm planning on putting in here eventually. Maybe some angelfish, maybe some rams. I just got to make sure the combination of fish works well together. Of course, is my little dirt planted 18-gallon tank. My little baby Molly is going through a growth spurt. He's going to be bigger than that neon here pretty soon. Still haven't found any other baby Mollies in the tank above. The lights aren't even on yet. But I think the gestation period for black mollies is like 60, 70 days, I think. I could be wrong on that. I have to double check. But every day I check the jungle valve that's covering the surface for any babies, so I can put them back into here so the parents won't eat them up. I've noticed recently that the Rotala indica is really starting to sprout in here really good. I have a tangled mess of Rotala in there. I forget the name of this plant. It's just not coming to me right now. But it's already hitting the surface. So I'm going to cut that back and replant it along with a bunch of the Rotala indica. And of course I have a nice looking banana lily here. Love these plants, man. They're just kind of a goofy looking plant. I think makes for a great foreground plant. Two little Amazon swords here. This Amazon sword to the right, I think I've mentioned that before, but it's at least 10 to 15 years old. It's one of the very first plants that I got when I first got into aquariums, and it's just been abused and mistreated. You know, I had it when I didn't know anything about keeping plants, and it's just survived. And this is it's finally in a dirt planted tank, and this is the best it's ever looked. Got some Cryptocoryne windetti, red, I believe there. And here's some of these dwarf sage. That's dwarf sage, and back in there is the giant or the wide leaf sage. It's not really doing anything. The wide leaf sage in the upper 29 tank has sent out some runners. It's doing pretty good. And I have two more wide leaf sage in my 80-gallon tank, and they're not really doing anything. So I'm probably going to put those in here as well, and hopefully they'll bounce back and do pretty good. But just wanted to give a little update here, folks. You know, some things that are on my mind, what I'm thinking about doing with my tanks. So if you have any suggestions, if anybody can tell me what this plant is called, I'll try looking up myself. But it's killing me that I can't remember the name. Also get a bunch of this duckweed up in here. I'm sure eventually I'm gonna have to scoop some of it out, but I'm liking the way it looks. I have all these snails in here too. I'm planning on getting a loach so he can snack on those. So that's it, folks. Just a quick update showing you how things are doing. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm going on vacation here in September, so we're saving up some money, so I haven't done anything with my 55 or my empty 90-gallon acrylic tank. But when I get back and save up a little more money, I'll start in on building a stand for those two tanks, moving the marbled goby from the 55 to the 90, then all the fish and most of the plants from the 80 into the 55. Gonna dirt it. It's gonna be fun. Have a good one, folks.